Hi guys, today I'm so excited because we are going to be talking about the newest release from Arttitude Cosmetics, and I got this package while I was gone on a trip. I got back a couple of days ago, so this collection has already launched, but I obviously want to make a video with it still because I think that this is really fun. I think a lot of you are going to be interested. So there are a lot of things in this collection, so I'm going to show you some of them. The first thing is a brush set. So these are the ones that I've used today. There are also some eyeshadow brushes in here that we will be using for the eye look, but just thought I would give you some like first impression thoughts on these. I think that they are really nice and soft. If you're looking for nice soft makeup brushes, I think you're gonna like these. Obviously can't speak for how they're going to wash or anything like that, but I will say I don't think these are going to become like my daily brushes because I'm extremely picky with brushes. You guys know that. So for me, it's more of a shape thing, and I feel like these shapes aren't perfect for what I'm looking for. Like I already sort of have my perfect brushes that I love using, and I don't feel like these are going to replace any of those. But if you're someone who maybe don't have a lot of brushes in your collection, you're looking for a brush set, I do think you're gonna like these. It's just that I don't think these are going to become my favorites just because of the shapes of them. I find that some of them are a little bit too, not flimsy, but like how do I explain this? Like the bristles are almost a little bit too long, and I feel like I don't have as much control. And then the other ones are like the opposite spectrum, where it's like they're too short, so they're like too stubby and they don't blend as well. I don't know. Like they're just not perfect for me. I do think they're nice quality though. They seemed really nice. So if you are interested in brushes, maybe look at the shapes of them and see if it's something that you're interested in. The collection also comes with a sponge, which I'm not a sponge person, so I didn't use that because I'm not someone who can give you a good review on what a sponge is like because I don't like using sponges. There's also a mixing medium in here, which I also am not going to be using in this video because this just doesn't go with like the mixing medium, if that makes sense. Like it's also not the kind of product that I tend to use. There are a bunch more brushes in here. I can kind of show you a quick preview, but there's a lot. I don't know if you can buy these individually or if you have to buy them all in like two different sets. I would say that there's like eye brushes and face brushes maybe. Yeah, not fully sure on that, but check out their website if you're interested in the brushes. I also got a single eyeshadow in my package, which I'm confused by. I don't know why this is put in here because it doesn't go into palette, so I'm just kind of like, huh? Like, I don't know. There are also two highlighters, which I want to swatch these with you on camera to see what they're like. When they came out with their other highlighters from their previous collection, I really liked one of them, which was a multi-chrome, and then the other one I found to be a little bit too sort of white-based, so we'll see what these are like. So the first one here is the shade called Flotation. They're both just going to look white. Let's go ahead and see. This one feels a little chalky. Yeah, that's gonna be probably too white-based. Like I can definitely see that it has a base to it. It does sheer out though, so maybe we're gonna have to see. I don't know if I want to use this one on my face today, but this is the shade called Flotation, so it's got like a greenish shift to it. And then the other one is called Cohesion. This one looks a little bit more on the chunky side. You probably can't see that, it probably just looks white to you. This feels more like one of those eyeshadows that are more on the flaky side. This definitely feels more like an eyeshadow than highlighter. I'm curious how this one is going to apply. It definitely has more texture to it. It looks more kind of flaky. I do think I want to try this one on the face though, just to sort of see if I'm able to make this formula work. I do plan on filming another video for my other channel after this, so I don't want to use like two different highlighters on my face because I don't think it's going to be that easy to like even them out after. I don't think this brush is going to work. See, this one I feel like it's just a little too flimsy. I'm not sure what I would use this brush for. I could use this one, which is a very small fan brush, but this one is a little dense, but maybe we're gonna go ahead and try that. So I'm gonna take the shade, which was the shade Cohesion. It does pick up okay on the brush, and it doesn't seem like it's gonna be... Oh, you know what? This actually reminds me so much of the Blend Bunny Noctilucent formula in that it is sort of glittery, but it is definitely on like the transparent sheer side. I'm not sure I like it as much. I do feel like the color is a little bit weird as a highlighter. I'm not sure how well you can actually see that. I think as an eyeshadow though, like this would be amazing, and I will absolutely use this as an eyeshadow at some point. I don't love it as a highlighter. It feels almost a little a little sparse in that it's just like, it's just glitter. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind a glitter highlighter, but I feel like it doesn't distribute evenly, which I think is why I like the Noctilucent palette so much. I don't think this is going to become my favorite. I think it's a really pretty color, and like I said, I think if you like this color, you could absolutely use this as an eyeshadow. Like, that would look so pretty. Like, if I go in with a little bit more, it just feels like a really good eyeshadow, if that makes sense. See, like, oh my god, that would make for the most beautiful eyeshadow. And like, I'm so excited to use that as an eyeshadow when I have time, which might be a while from now because I'm so backed up with releases, as you guys probably know. But we're gonna go ahead and do a look with the eyeshadow palette, which is the Metamorph palette. This is so beautiful, like so pretty. When I got the package and I opened this palette, I was like, wow, like that is a very interesting and I feel like unique color story that has so much going on for it. It's got a really fun combination of mattes, and I feel like the shimmers, even though they don't really make sense with the mattes, I think in a way they kind of do make sense. I know that sentence didn't make sense either, but I do feel like you can do a lot with this palette, and it's really pretty, and I'm excited to dig into it. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do, but I wore purple because I felt like the vibe of the palette would go with that, so we're just gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to see. I might actually play with like these purples just to sort of see if it is what I think it will be. I will say that this shade came a little smushed for me, so I had to press it back into the pan, but I was able to save it because it hadn't like splattered all over the palette, which was nice. Just something to keep in mind. I don't think that's going to happen to everybody, but I have had some shades from her previous palettes come broken, which is a shame, but I know that she's very willing to replace stuff that has broke, so just something to keep in mind. She also did give me an affiliated code, which is just Annette 70, I think it says. I actually don't know if it's affiliated or not. I think it's affiliated. Just assume it's affiliated, I guess. Because I don't want to be like, oh, it's not affiliated if it is affiliated, you know? So we're just gonna go ahead and do a look with this. Sadly, I'm only gonna have time to do one look. I really wish I could do more with this palette, but I just want to get through the stuff that I have gotten into my collection so I don't fall too far behind if I do get packages with releases that haven't launched yet. So I'm gonna prime with my DD Signature eyeshadow primer here, which looks like this. So I'm trying to find a brush from the eyeshadow collection that's gonna do what I want it to do, and I feel like they're just not really what I'm looking for. Again, I'm so picky when it comes to brushes. I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna have to use a different brush from my collection to deepen this up with because I don't think that there's really what I'm looking for in this brush set, but I'm gonna start with this shade. I could make it more, I don't know. I just wanna use this and I just want to see what it looks like because it's going to go with my shirt. That's how I'm deciding my look today. So not going to do anything fancy. I'm just going to put that into my crease. That is very pigmented, extremely pigmented. This brush, however, is too big for what I would prefer because, as you know, I like smaller brushes, but I do think I'll be able to make this work. Yeah, this shade is so pigmented. When I swatched this palette, I was honestly so impressed by how everything swatched. I think I also want to use the black today because when I swatched it, I was very intrigued by it because it wasn't the most pigmented black and it just seemed like it would be extremely easy to work with and easy to build and blend. So I want to test out that theory and see if my judges of the swatches are what I think the shade actually will perform like on the eyes. But this is a pretty shade. Like, this is so pretty. I really like that color and I love how easy it is to work with, how pigmented it is. Again, I feel like I shouldn't be using new brushes when I'm using a new palette, which is tough to do when you're trying to review like a full collection because I usually know better how the eyeshadows perform if I use the brushes that I'm used to. So I am going to switch to one of my own brushes for the rest of this look because, or at least for like the crease work, because I just feel like there's not really a brush that's small enough to do what I want to do in the set. So I'm gonna take my Rephr 13 into the shade called Emperor, which is this one. So we're gonna use this one and then probably some of the black as well. I feel like I'm not gonna need it because the shade is quite dark, but let's just see how this one performs first. I'm gonna do that in the outer corner just to deepen up my look and also blend it into my crease. Really like the color of this one as well. Very pretty, very dark. And it seems to layer very nicely. So I've actually been really impressed with Arttitude's matte formula in the past. I feel like their palettes have been really, really nice. And I think that the shimmers in this palette are definitely an upgrade from some of the shimmers they've had in the past. Now, there are quite a few black base multi-chromes in this, which I'm not someone who really uses a lot because I find that they crease on me a lot and it's just not something that I really care to deal with. So I think I'm probably gonna use some of the other shades because I do want this makeup to last well today. And I'm also not going to be able to update you on wear time if I do use one of the multi-chromes, because I do plan on posting this the same day as I'm filming it, because again, I'm so backed up that I need to just get videos up right now, just so I can feel a little bit better about myself. I'm going to take the small pencil brush that comes in the collection and just run the shade underneath my eye just to connect it to the outer corner as well before I go in with the black shade. I do like that there's a small pencil brush in here. Like, this will be really nice for inner corner shade as well. I mean, so far so good. Everything is performing really well. Let's go ahead and test out some of the black. I'm gonna say now that I'm not gonna use a lot of this, but knowing myself, I probably will use a lot of it. So I'm just gonna try to deepen up the outer corner a bit to see how... Okay, that is really nice. That is very easy to work with. It is pigmented, it's blending out, it's not like so pigmented that it's hard to work with. I really like that. Like, that was basically effortless. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. I mean, that did exactly what I wanted to do in about 30 seconds. So I'm always happy when I find a black shade that I don't have to worry about, you know? Like, finding a black that you trust is so important, because I feel like having a black good eyeshadow in your collection can really do a lot for so many of your looks. If you're someone who likes a lot of depth in your looks, a black is gonna really help you with that. So I love that. Honestly, that is perfect. So now we just have to figure out what shade to use on the lid. And I'm thinking I could go fancy and go with the green, but again, it is a black base multi-chrome and I'm not sure I want to worry about that today. I could also do, I mean, this is just gonna be awesome. Like, you guys know how much I love these kind of shades. Oh, like, can I not do that? I know I'm gonna love this one too. That is also so pretty, and this one is way more metallic than I first thought it would be. Actually, that could be really nice with my earrings. What about this? This is more of a green, right? So like inner corner shade, that's not really gonna work as an inner corner shade, which is a little sad. I'm thinking maybe I'll be a little fancy and do some of the green with this one. Maybe that's a weird color combination, but maybe we'll do it anyway. I might regret that, but let's have some fun. So I'm considering using this brush, but I just think it's gonna be too big. Like, it is a very large, like for my very small eyes, it's a very large brush. So I'm just gonna use my Rephr number 12. I think this is just gonna work better for what I needed to do. Just gonna put on some of my glitter primer. And I'm gonna start with the gold shade. This is a shade called Nectar, because I do want more of this than I want of the green. I don't want the green really to be in the front portion, just because I don't want it to start creasing, and usually it's the shades that I put in this spot that will crease the most, and I trust this shade a lot more to not crease. So that is really pretty. That is a beautiful sort of light champagne-y goldy shade. I'm gonna take that almost all over my lid, just leaving a little bit of room in between the shimmer and the matte for that green shade, just so we can get like a pop of green without it being a green look. That is really pretty. I could totally leave it like this too. Like, that looks beautiful. I love these colors together so much. And I'm then taking the shade called Metamorph, which is the green shade. I'm just gonna do a little bit just right here, just to connect the shimmers and the mattes. That is also really pretty. I mean, I knew this was going to be pretty. I just don't want this to really take over the look. I just want it to be a bit of an accent. I'll probably go back in again with the black shade to just go over this a bit again, but that's really pretty. I think this is nice and unexpected while still kind of making sense with the look as well. I don't feel like it's, you know, out of place, because it goes really nicely with that champagne shade. Going back with a little bit more of the black just to make sure I get a blend here. And that's pretty much gonna be it. I'm wondering if I will do a little bit of that iridescent shade in the inner corner just to try it, since we did pull in some green, like maybe that will actually make sense now. I'm taking a little bit of the iridescent shade just like right in my inner corner here. It just almost leans a little bit more blue, which was unexpected, so I don't want to use a ton of this. I just want to have a little bit just so I can like try the shade, you know, even if it doesn't necessarily make that much sense with the look, but at least I can say I put it on my eyes. So I think that's going to be it for the eye look. I really like how this turned out. I think it is so pretty, and I can't wait to see it when it's like all said and done. Should I put some of that iridescent shade on my brow bone as well? Like that's definitely going to be crazy, but it also will pull the look together. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that like right here. Wow, that is intense. Okay, that's more intense than I wanted, but I do think it's gonna look good. I think it's gonna come together, and just gonna quickly finish off and come back and show you the final look. So the look is all done. I wish I could tell you which lashes I'm wearing, but I cannot because they were in the box of lashes that I've used that I don't know where they came from. I know they're from Unicorn Cosmetics, though, if you're wondering. They're like half lashes. I like them, but I don't know what they're called. So my thoughts on this collection is that the highlighters are not my favorites. I think they're gonna be great eyeshadows. Probably wouldn't use them as highlighters on my face again. The brushes I think are good quality. They seem really nice. They're very soft. Shape-wise, just not really what I'm looking for in my brushes. Doesn't mean it's not what you're looking for. Again, I'm super picky when it comes to brushes, and I know what I like, and I have so many brushes. I've tried so many brushes, so many shapes that I'm very particular about which ones I gravitate towards, and it takes a lot for me to replace a brush with a new brush because I know what I like now. The palette, however, I think is honestly amazing. So far I've had a great time with this. I wish I could do more looks, like I said. So just take this review for first impression. Take it with a grain of salt, you know, it's not a full review. I've only used it once. I'm gonna include this in my next ranking video. I don't know when that's going to be. It might actually be in like my next ranking video because I do plan on filming one soon, and I'm not gonna have time to play more with that before I film my next ranking video. So I'm probably gonna keep this into my next one so that I have more time to actually use this palette because I really want to use it again. I think it's beautiful. I think the shades are really nice. Everything I used today performed really well, and I love this look. So again, just a first impression, but those are my thoughts. If you're interested in this, I have had really good experiences with Arttitude's formula in the past as well. So I would be pretty confident saying that I would recommend this palette just because I have tried their other palettes. But again, it's a first impression. So take that for what you want. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see the other reviews that I've done with the brand, I will put that up on the screen if you want to go check those out. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.